The Legend of Zelda is a franchise that embodies my very being. Its wondrous worlds, enchanting music, and complex dungeons are among my best moments as a gamer. As I've recently turned 30, and the franchise turned 35, I found it appropriate to really dive into my history with the franchise. So this is a personal journey that I thought I'd share with you all. This is my history with Zelda. It didn't start as charming as it is now. I was born in 1991, and if there is just one fact you should know about me, it's that I was raised on Dinosaur Island. That's right, Super Mario World is my most cherished game of all time. Yoshi, the Forest of Illusion, the Koopalings, the Rexes, Bonsai Bills, all of it was an integral part of my childhood. And for most of the 90s, I was a Mario fanatic. Super Mario was my favorite franchise, and dare I say, it still can be considered so today. But there was another franchise that I came into contact with during my time on Dinosaur Island. It was my first time playing The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I remember being enamored by those 3 golden triangles spinning in the dark abyss. Then, swing! The sword pierces the logo and that bombastic music sparked my soul with a sense of adventure. The only problem was, I was young and kinda stupid. At the time, I thought rescuing the princess from the dungeon was the entire game, and soon realized I was in way over my head when I learned that I had all of Hyrule to explore still. I had to talk to townsfolk to pick up on clues as to where I had to go. I wasn't just moving a cursor from one level to the next. I had to take that journey and reach the next destination myself. To be honest, I wasn't a fan. Time went by, and I remember this one Christmas where I opened the wrapper and... That wasn't me. I wish it was, but nah, that wasn't me. But yes, the Nintendo 64, another huge part of my childhood and my gateway into 3D gaming. The Nintendo 64 came with 3 games: Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. You can probably guess which one I grew attached to immediately. It wasn't Zelda. Yes, it was Super Mario 64, a game that I kept popping in until I thought my N64 would overheat. Heck, even Banjo-Kazooie was a game I was growing attached to, with a unique aesthetic and quirky characters. My father, on the other hand, tried his hand at Zelda. And that was when I gained an interest. I watched him explore this magical forest, outsmart these plant monsters, and get harassed by a giant owl. And something about it was enchanting to me. Foreboding, but enchanting nonetheless. It had horseback, skeletal warriors, Jonah and the Whale, dancing rock dudes. It was something that Mario and Banjo couldn't hold a candle to. So I tried the game for myself and got stuck. Yeah, the 3D exploration wasn't much better for me. Dungeons that I can breeze through in about an hour now took me well over a week to accomplish back in the day, and I was pooped, but determined. My father was able to give me an easier experience because that following Christmas, I got another Nintendo console, the Game Boy Color, with 2 games this time, Pokemon Blue and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. And everything clicked. I remember spending countless hours just huddled in my room, on the bus, on the playground, on a train, in the rain. That last one didn't happen. You silly puppers, you can't play Game Boy in the rain. You'd catch a cold. But eventually, I beat Link's Awakening. Not the first Zelda I played, but definitely the first I finished and fell in love with. I was ready for the challenge. I was ready for Ocarina of Time. And what an experience it was. Dungeons, puzzles, shooting galleries. I consumed all of it in this epic story about traveling through time to save the world I once held dear against the evil forces of Ganondorf. It was epic. I had done it. I had fallen in love with The Legend of Zelda. At last, this foreboding franchise had won me over, and I had proven my worth to conquer not 1, but 2 miraculous games in this franchise. It was infectious. My father and I drew up our own Zelda-inspired idea. I bought the soundtracks, which I played on the bus on a little Walkman. Hell, my Ocarina of Time guide was how I made good friends with a buddy of mine in elementary school. If you're still around, Chaz, hope all is going well, buddy. So anyways, I went back and played A Link to the Past, and it was really good too. Oh wow, I'm getting good at this. Just in time too, because the next Zelda for the Nintendo 64 was coming out in a few months. I saved up my allowance, bought the game, and I'm a fucking Deku scrub. Alright. This game, many people like it. I am not one of them. It's grown on me in recent years, so it's fine, but, oh man, the Oracle games. Now those are some great games. Mega Man made this shit. One is a clever remake of the original Zelda that I didn't know of at the time, and the other is a brain crunch of puzzles that has some clever items that I think really should get a second look. And then there was Wind Waker. Well, how can I forget this one? So many angry fans were not looking forward to Wind Waker at the time. It was too cute. It looked like Kitty Zelda. It wasn't a real Zelda game. Boy, I'm sure glad things have changed in recent years. Turns out Wind Waker has aged the best out of all the Zelda games, and feels like a glorious Studio Ghibli movie. After Wind Waker, I went and tracked down any other Zelda I could find. The original, Zelda 2, Minish Cap. All of it was leading up to the big kahuna itself, Twilight Princess, aka the most epic game trailer of all time. Excuse me, I have to go change my shorts. Got a little mayonnaise on my hot dog. So yeah, Twilight Princess was good, and Skyward Sword was fun. And heck, even the DS games made me realize that I probably love the franchise a bit too much. Don't get me wrong, I can find minor annoyances and irritations with each entry, but on the whole, even my least favorite Zeldas are leagues above common entries in other franchises. Looking at you, Final Fantasy. Anywho, as time has gone by, I look back and realize that maybe I am just a little nostalgia biased when it comes to Zelda. But I think that's the magic of Zelda. Even if you don't grow up with it, you feel like you do. At its core, to me, Zelda is about coming-of-age stories, a nobody who finds their place in the world, timeless tales that have more personal meanings each time you revisit them. The Legend of Zelda inspires us to have the wisdom to learn from our mistakes, the power to never back down from things that challenge us, and the courage to persevere. I always look forward to inviting more and more people into this beloved franchise. My girlfriend is about to experience her first Zelda, and I couldn't be more excited. Let's hope she sees the magic of this wondrous franchise. That way we can talk about the lore and really dive into those timelines. Someday. I don't know. I feel like whipping out that Hyrule Historia is a good way to scare her off. I mean, she's a tough cookie. I had her play The Lion King on Sega Genesis. Hey, I hope you like this video, and if you have some Zelda memories of your own, no spoilers please, share them down below.